It's our mid-September check-in, capturing the little remaining color we have, and especially the sedum, which is the star of the show right now with the pollinators, especially this little sleepy one. So fascinating. I could watch them all day. While the sedum looks great, I am contemplating transplanting that for this tiny curls pine. I found that on clearance and thought it would be great to have an evergreen up here. The sedum does look pretty good. The ground cover sedum, that is, looks good throughout the winter, but the pine would be special, I think. I'm loving the sun patience up here. They've really grounded the front. It didn't really work out as I planned on it. The orange ones died off, but this purple color is phenomenal. Sedum along the foundation, love. I should have done that sooner. Makes complete sense considering rainwater doesn't get back there and the sedum should do just fine. And while the hydrangea has filled in so much, I think this guy is going to get divided and moved along there. So it's just a nice border plant because clearly I like it neat and repeating patterns. Hydrangea that the deer have nibbled made a really good recovery. It is very large. Still trying to decide when it goes dormant if I'm going to move it over there. I think I will. And speaking of over there, it's my Japanese maple. But I thought I would show this while we're right here. These were those clearance impatiens I'd put around the tree. So simple. And it's not like I threw a bunch of dirt there. That dirt has been there for a while, so it's not really stressing the tree out any more than it already is. And the Japanese maple. I love how architectural and light and airy they are. I'm hoping to keep it in the pot for the winter. I don't know if I can do it. Hopefully. I think I can. And while it's not fantastic over here, the bright pink salvia really helped. Again, another clearance plant. And I always love purple fountain grass. And the datura is basically stealing the show. This was the self-seeded. There's 2 plants here. Really beautiful. Not something I would probably grow from seed myself, but self-seeded, it's beautiful. I love it, especially the seed pods. And they are very spiky. Kind of cool. Oh, I should show this. Phlox that the deer ate twice this season. They survived enough to get a little color for me. Happy to see that. It may not be the perfect spot for it. That was one of those perennials I brought home because it was beautiful. And it had been living over here. Not really where it belonged. And yes, I still have some of my clearance soil to be spread around. Cleaned this up a lot. Still have some more weeding to do. I took up the big ones and those clearance verbena that I had put here. They just weren't flourishing. This is the hibiscus that was on the other side of the sweet autumn clematis arbor. The deer devoured this hydrangea this year. Definitely became a favorite. I have a mom and she likes to bring her kids around. I'm pretty sure every day. Yesterday came home at 4 o'clock and they were just out in the middle of the yard doing their thing. And actually they just came through the yard right around here when I first came out. Cleaned this up quite a bit. It was just ragged looking. Now that I have a little bit more of a clear blank canvas, I can decide a little bit better how to go about shaping it up for next year. The zinnias will always look beautiful over here because sitting on the deck, you just love to see that color. And those Rebecca back there. And this was the flame grass that I picked up at that perennial sale. I got a bunch of them and they were $6 a piece. I would love to have more perennial grasses. Actually, I have a whole tray of Carl Forrester that I love. I just am not sure where I'm going to put it. I could put it along the border of the property because I had tried that with these daylilies, which the deer just eat every year. And when it's all weed whacked and tidy, they look really neat. This is the best I think the hill's going to look this year with all of the rain. This has been very wet and muddy. It dried up for about a week, and then of course we got more rain, and then with Hurricane Lee coming, it'll be a mess again. I have not deadheaded flowers yet. I'm going to do a cutting when I'm done doing this video. Celosia, strawflower, random zinnias. Knowing that this is shade, we're going to just take it for what it is. Astilbes. I'm probably going to put some of the hostas over here. I really do want to dig up this hydrangea, but I'm not sure where I can put it. My ground and my soil is just very clay and rock. Not fun to transplant anything around here unless it's a raised bed, which most of these gardens I had to build up myself. Dahlias did a terrible job this summer. We had a couple of blooms off of the Jowie Gypsy here. The deer did come by and nibble. The Tithonia never had a chance. Every time it started to look good, deer found a way in here. I have yarrow back here and the globe thistle. They did terribly this year. They completely browned. I don't know if they're going to come back. If they do, I don't know. I don't know what to do with them. They look beautiful and they love the sun, but there's something about being over here they're not thrilled with. We won't look too closely at some of these zinnias since they do need to be deadheaded. But yet the color's just simply glowing on some of these little guys. So a lot's been removed. These glads, I don't know how to say them. They're those white ones. I have one that bloomed out of all the ones that I planted. It's on the far side of the property, and we'll see that in a minute. Oh, the zinnias are just neon. And this dahlia, we do have a bloom coming along. And I don't remember which one this is. I had labeled them all. But you think I can see the label? Nope. Cucumber did okay. The deer did come and finish it off. I've been waiting to film this tour because these buds were just getting ready to burst, and finally this week it happened. They're so large. It's so cool to see something tropical in this climate. This is another plant that has really suffered this year, and I know that the deer did nibble it, which is odd. I didn't know deer would eat these, but some pieces of it have just been crisping up, and I'm not sure why. It still smells beautiful, but I mean, sweet autumn clematis is very aggressive, so I don't know what's going on. I am going to try to build up the soil a bit because, again, it's very, very wet on this hill. You can see my halo of sunflowers from the bird feeder I took down there. Nice little ring right around. I haven't seen my hummingbird. I think they have left for their migration. This place still looks okay from afar. Definitely some browning here and there. And it's kind of frustrating that this is nice and healthy and looks good, but it's so thin over there. I really had wanted like a whole border with these, but it's still nice to have some color. And I cannot get over this ageratum, how phenomenal these plants are. This is the most prolific dahlia. It's just a yellow one, came in one of those packages. It's been solid. Oh, little caterpillar in there. I don't know what happened to the cosmos. I'm not super experienced growing cosmos. I've grown them over the years, but they all browned up. Oh yeah, there's a snapdragon. All the cosmos browned up. While the blooms looked good, the foliage looked terrible, so I had to get rid of all of those. These are sunflowers that I direct sowed. And I'm actually going to get little tiny sunflowers. Very exciting. I have been keeping the netting up along here so the deer don't come in, since they moseyed their way around earlier and ate a bunch of stuff. Same dahlia over here. Need to deadhead it to keep her going. Straw flower. I have a whole bunch of flowers I've dried. I've never really gotten into that before, but I got some ideas. I let these go to seed. Thought it would be fun to collect them. Still a little bit of action with the snaps. Ooh, I never did cut these. I haven't done a lot with asters before, and these were beautiful, but they were not very sturdy and strong stems, so I only was able to cut them a couple of times. Oh, I haven't seen this grass before. I could cut that. And we've got some little baby beans. Oh, it looks like the voles have found their way in here. Oh, they're so teeny. I just threw those beans in here when I did the sunflowers. I do want to try throwing some buckwheat in, just to put something in the soil and try the ground cover. Don't mind that mess. We have a burn pile from the swamp grass I cut down. Cleaned more of this stuff up, just the lumber and the debris. These are the forget-me-nots, all of the green, so they'll be blue in the spring. That's a lemon balm I threw there last year. I might try to move these, or this grass in particular. This one is either reverted or is mixed in with another one. I think it's just reverted. Yep. So it's supposed to be that pretty stripy texture. I don't remember the name of it. Butterbur. It's the first year it didn't turn to a crisp, and you can see how thick it is. I wonder how aggressive it's going to be next year. This has been the year for it, that's for sure. And they still be, I have the meadow rue here. That was one of those sale plants. Kind of liking this rogue wetland grass. Nice statement. And yeah, this is the swampy area, so hence the swamp garden. This is the hosta transplant area. Not a lot can survive back here. I had moved the spirea out. Deutzia got moved out of here. It's just too shady, too wet. So we'll see how the hosta fare, if I can keep them alive from the deer. Like, this is how wet it is. There's just standing water beneath the soil. So what do we have? Diamond Lake, across a Regal division. And this guy here is One Last Dance. That was the one I had in the front of the house earlier in the year, I believe. The mosquitoes are coming out, so we'll see if we can make it. Like this. This is what the backyard has been. This swampy ick. These weeds. I'm pretty sick of these. They spread very aggressively. Well, Creeping Jenny clearly spreads very aggressively, but at least I can pull that up with no problems. Oh, and that was another autumn frost hosta that got eaten early on. Containers are holding their own, not too spectacular. I have not fertilized at all back here. Nothing. The mint looks good, along with the ajuga. Very excited about Hudson Bay. I think that's going to be beautiful when it matures. And this is the Loyalist. That was a new one. These are the few that survived the invasion of the deer. Colored Hulk. I really do enjoy that one as well, especially with the purple. Captain Kirk. Pretty, but destroyed. And which one is this? Oh, this is Wee. Curly and fun. Estrantia. Another one from that perennial sale. This is a new clearance plant. Always wanted a Conocloa grass. And actually when I first moved in I had one and it died off. Greatly reduced the lamb's ear. Garden thug, always has been. Threw it back there last year and I'm fine with it. Poor autumn frost, they always get eaten first. Praying hands, that's a new one. Avoided the deer because it was in a pot over on my deck. This geranium never really looked good this year. I know they like it warm and I just think it was too wet. Always kind of icky. This was further down here. It was really hanging over the edge. So I figured Lady's Mantle can live here for now. Pushed it back by the, not the spirea. Sun King Aurelia. There we go. This is still be filled in pretty nicely. Of course, this is the Proven Winners one. Nice. I love how it looks with the bugleweed. This was the Crosser Regal. That is my oldest hosta, I would say. I've had that the longest. Very aggressive. It's cardinal flower. It's beautiful. And yes, the hummingbirds have loved it. One of the few the deer didn't destroy. They did nibble it, but bounced back with a vengeance. This is my other one, Last Dance, that was beautiful. This was a clearance hosta. I couldn't resist. This is June. And then this is June Spirit. So I believe I might have had a June earlier on, but I do love the June Spirit. I love how glossy they are. And I think together they'll be pretty neat. Oh, this is the wide brim. It doesn't do a lot for me. I'm not sure why. I guess because it's a smaller stature. I really like the larger ones. I do love the miniature goat's beard though. My variegated phlox. Beautiful pinky blooms when it blooms. Yep, the deer ate it. And I know they like the phlox, but they were very aggressive this year. Like I said, it's the mom and the babies that were, I think, the consistent culprits. That was another sale plant, the drinking gourd, which says it gets pretty large, so we'll see. Blue ivory, one of my number ones. And this was a new geum that I put in there to complement the one that's further down by the praying hands. Brother Stefan survived, but that one really hurt when they ate that one down. Oh, there's our little garden puppy bopping around. Hope Springs Eternal. This one isn't anything super special. I like it, but it doesn't do a lot for me. And I would like to get more mouse ears. It's not the easiest to find them besides this blue. So, yep, mosquitoes are full force. Love this Jacob's ladder though. Oh, beautiful. All the Solomon seal also got eaten by the deer. Thank you, Mr. Blue Jay. I did get the wood dug up here so I can actually work on that drainage trench I'd been talking about. My husband and I have been talking if we're going to try investing in getting somebody out here to work on the drainage. Just worried how much it's going to be. This phlox never had a chance. I love this version of Creeping Jenny, Waikiki. Pretty cool. So this has become the dumping garden. Some of the lamb's ear got thrown over here. That was a sedum that was growing out in the front yard. We'll take a look over here at what other hodgepodge we have. Hi, garden helper. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. Oh, this is, I love it, but I hate it. Like, the blooms have been really fun to watch. So this one's a pale one. I don't know, it took a long time to get here. These empty bracts are super neat. I really enjoy those. So when the blooms fall off, that's what you get. Wonder if you can dry them. So there's a lot of blooms ready to go. Oh, here's a dark one. A little worse for the wear, but yeah, the vine hasn't been the healthiest, but when it's blooming, it's really breathtaking. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Very large, really enjoyable. This sedum, if I'm going to keep these vines consistently here, the clematis, which clearly got enveloped by the cathedral bells. Oh my word, there are those gosh darn deer. They just can't stop coming around. So there's a lot of woods behind me, and they pretty much have trails over by my cutting garden, and then they have a trail all along there as well. Hence why they're in my yard all the time. And in the winter, there's larger herds of them. That one just seems to be a mom and a couple of babies. So, anyways, if I keep these vines here, sedum will have to go. It is just fun to have the sedum because it's just a fuss-free plant. So over here, same old thing. Every year I say the same thing. I need to get more all-season interest. These have finally bloomed. So beautiful. Oh, look at this tropical pairing. Elephant ear and hibiscus. How can you go wrong with that? So this hibiscus is doing very well. These elephant ear, love this part of the house. Great. I did transplant a butterfly bush over here. It's supposed to be normal, larger size. The idea behind that is to hide the bleeding heart when the foliage is gone. And if I can have that fill up this whole area, great. I don't know, we'll see. It's ever evolving on this side. And I did put another GM over here to try to spread that color around when it is in season. Elephant ear will come in for the winter. We'll see how they do. I've tried it before, and storing bulbs isn't really my jam. Oh, so breathtaking. I love these centerpiece plants. And I've always loved elephant ear. If I can get them both to survive, I most likely will repeat the meteor shower verbena, just a couple of those, and put both the elephant ear in here and let them just take over that planter. Because years and years I've been trying to hide the propane tanks from the driveway view, and the elephant ear have finally done that. I'd like to keep that going. So that's it for September, pre-storm. Memorial Garden is also hanging in there. Not a lot has changed. I have put some lamb's ear over here. And I also moved my Solidago that has bounced around the entire property. It's just not breathtaking when it's in bloom, so I figured, well, it's good for cutting, and if it's over here, I'll keep using it. Oh, there's